If I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, well, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want 200 million for Benavidez, and he want 150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to his legacy.
I heard him say that I'm easy work. If I were easy work, would you know that you would accept all of the money he's offering you? However, he still wants 200 million for Benavidez and 150 million to fight me. That alone tells me that I'm a threat to him, and to his legacy. Terence Crawford, who is renowned for his painstaking preparation and dedication, recently shared his thoughts on the recently released training footage. Of boxing legend Canelo Alvarez Crawford. His reactions to Canelo's rigorous training regimen sparked excitement and anticipation among boxing fans for a possible future fight between the two champions. Music. On the weekend of Mexican Independence Day in September 2025, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford will square off in the eagerly awaited super middleweight title fight.
He went on the ring with Teddy Atlas.
What does that mean?
He said you're the most overrated Mexican champion in history. He said that Salvador Sanchez.
Boxeador mexicano.
Más
popular, pero sin causa. Sí.
Fucking crazy that guy. and you think he knows boxing? Fuck.
In the May, I've read somewhere that Canelo has shortlisted Crawford for the May fight, his fight in May. Dan, what's happening?
Yeah, listen, I think it's just a fluid situation. I don't think there's anything definitive one way or the other at this point. I mean, it's not a secret that that's a fight that's been discussed by a lot of us and by a lot of people in the sport for quite a while. Certainly, it's a fight that Turki Al-Sheikh from Saudi Arabia has shown a lot of interest in. And of course, if it's going to get made, someone's going to have to put up a lot of guaranteed money. And he's probably the person that's going to do it. He's obviously been working closely with Terence Crawford. He was involved with Terence Crawford's last fight that took place in August when he fought Israel Madrimov. It's obviously a fight that Terence Crawford has been very vocal about wanting. Now, Canelo hasn't ever said he wanted the fight, kind of downplayed it to a certain degree. But it wasn't that long ago. I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago, he was doing an appearance and he was asked about it and he didn't close the door on it. In the past, he sort of like closed the door on it and was like, I'm not interested. He's like, listen, I'll talk to anybody and listen to what they have to say about the deal. Any kind of deal. So in my mind, that sort of at least cracked open the door to have the conversation. Like he wasn't just saying, forget it, in terms of working with Turki or anybody else. So I think that Canelo is a smart person in terms of his boxing, but also in terms of his business. And when he looks around at the landscape and he wants to make a huge amount of money, like all top fighters or any fighter for that matter, and he looks and sees who can I fight where I can make the biggest score, in a big time fight.
Canelo will defend his WBC Yuba and WBO titles against Crawford, who is making a big jump from welterweight to 168 pounds. He remarked, "You're the most overrated Mexican champion in history, and Salvador Sanchez is crazy that goo and you think he knows boxing," according to Teddy Atlas. I read some of that in May. Crawford has been shortlisted by Canelo for the May bout. Dan, what's going on?
When Terence Crawford said that he moved up and won, and Canelo moved up and lost.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
I don't think that was a strong point because Canelo Alvarez actually moved up and won. I mean, he moved up a lot of weight classes, but if you want to talk about light heavyweight, he moved up and he beat Kobe. Then he moved up again and he lost to Bivol. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, he moves up to 154. He won 115, 113, but it was just an 11-0 Madrimov who didn't really have much of a resume, right? But there's a difference, to be real. I mean, Bivol is a Hall of Fame. Okay, this guy, all-time light heavyweight. It's a bit different because Canelo did knock out Kovalev when he did move up. Okay, and Kovalev is a bigger challenge at light heavyweight than Madrimov at 154 for Terence Crawford. Let's just keep it a bit.
Listen, it's no secret that fight has been discussed by many of us and by many people in the sport for a long time, and it's one that Turki Al from Saudi Arabia has expressed a lot of interest in. Of course, if it's going to happen, someone will have to put up a lot of guaranteed money, and he's probably the one who will do it.
Listen, Canelo needs to understand he's a different fighter now. The deterioration is there. He's not the same guy. He's not that destroyer who's looking for knockouts early and keeps a pace and a pressure on you. He throws 30 punches around. You're not the same guy. So telling everyone you're going to knock them out and then going into, 6 decisions in a row now? Scores a knockdown every time. Power's still there. The problem is the pace and the ability to carry on and push. That's the real difference, and that comes with age. He's 34 going on 45 at this, as far as I'm concerned. He's got a ton of fights, been around for a long time, doesn't have that same desire, the same drive to take the chances against these younger, bigger guys, because he is fighting younger, bigger guys. So you got to keep that in mind as well.
When he fought Canelo, and he was like standing right in front of Canelo, and Canelo's just whiffing, it was a life lesson. And then you look at how good Canelo's head movement got after that fight, when he realized it. I mean, my God, when he fought Danny Jacobs, and Canelo's just standing right in front of him, bobbing. That's all what he learned from fighting Floyd.
He's obviously been working closely with Terence Crawford, as evidenced by the fact that he was involved in Terence Crawford's most recent fight, which took place in August, in which he faced Israel Maima. Terence Crawford has been quite outspoken about wanting the fight now. Although Canelo has never explicitly stated that he wanted the fight, he has somewhat downplayed it. However, not too long ago, I don't know, maybe a few months ago, he was making an appearance and was questioned about it. In the past, he sort of closed the door on it, saying, "I'm the entrance," and he's like, "Listen, in my opinion, Canelo is a smart guy in terms of both boxing and business. He looks at the landscape and wants to make a lot of money like all top fighters."
Es esta, fíjate. Pam, 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 pam. Hun, hun, hun. Pam. Pa, 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 hun, hun, hun. Pa, 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 hun, hun, hun. Digo. Hun, hun, hun. Eso. Hun, hun, hun. Eso. Eso.
Or any fighter for that matter. And he looks and sees who can I fight where I can make the biggest score in a big time fight. I'll talk to anybody, and listen to what they have to say about the deal, any kind of deal. So, in my opinion, that sort of opened the door to have the conversation, so to speak, with him. Fans are giddy with anticipation, as this clash of styles and skills promises to be one of the biggest boxing events of the year. Canelo Alvarez, who is renowned for his power and tactical versatility. Is regarded as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Crawford, a 4-division world champion, brings speed, precision, and adaptability to the ring. I don't think that was a strong point because Canelo Alvarez actually moved up in one. He moved up a lot of weight classes, but if you want to talk about light heavyweight, he moved up and beat K. Then he moved up again and lost. And he lost to beat Terence Crawford, said that he moved up and won. And Canelo moved up and lost.
I mean, you fought Floyd Mayweather at what? You're 23?
23.
That's so fucking young.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him because, if you beat him, you want to be the best in the world at 23.
What do you think was so impressive about him?
His experience, he's so smart. He have everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punches, but when you that kind of fighter, you don't need it.
You think that was the toughest fight you faced?
No.
What do you think?
I think it's tough fights and difficult fights. That was a difficult fight.
Canelo is beating these guys with all 5 layers of defense. Number 1, feet. Number 2, elbows, hands, shoulders, and the mind. This is exactly how both of those guys got to the highest level of boxing supremacy. Canelo Alvarez means to the Mexican fans what Floyd Money Mayweather meant for black people. 50 wins in boxing, no losses, no draws. And follow for more.
They talk about all the crazy things about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, advances to 154 and wins 115-13, but it was only an 11-year-old M who didn't really have much resentment. However, there is, to be honest, a difference. Blee is a Hall of Famer, and this guy is always like heavyweight. When Canelo advanced, he knocked out Kovalev, and Kovalev is a more formidable opponent than Magov at heavyweight.
I'll say he is the hardest, for sure. One of the fighters that hit very hard was Angulo. You know, he's a Cuban guy, and he punched very hard too. So I'll say both of them are like the same, but, you know, with Canelo, I was just mentally ready for his shots. You know, I already told myself, I know I'm gonna get hit. I know I'm gonna get hit on my chin, but it's, you know, I gotta bite down on my mouthpiece and push. You know, and look what happened in the third round. I got hit with a left hook. We'd be practicing in camp the whole time, you know, keeping my right hand to my chin, and I wound up just moving, and he connected right on my chin. And you see how I punched my glove. You know, that's like a thing for me when my last time when I got dropped, I was punching my gloves. 'Cause I'm like, damn, I got hit with a shot. I'm not supposed to be on the floor. But, you know, it comes to boxing. You know, the greats done got dropped, you know, got hurt. But it's about how you come back and respond.
Of the world, Mexico versus Puerto Rico, Saul Canelo Alvarez versus the chosen one, Edgar Berlanga.
So let's just keep it a secret. Canelo Alvarez has a 6,222 career record and is a formidable force in the super middleweight class. Canelo has demonstrated that he can do well in heavier weight classes, and his strength, agility, and experience make him a formidable foe. Pay attention, Canelo needs to understand he's a different fighter now. The deterioration is there. He's not the same guy. He's not that destroyer who's looking for knockouts early and keeps a pace and a pressure on you. He throws 30 punches around. You're not the same guy. So telling everyone you're going to knock them out, and then going into 6 decisions in a row now and see a knockdown every time, power's still there. The problem is the pace and the ability to the carry.
No, I'm saying at once.
Right.
I'm saying I started at 135. Right. I'm just saying, like, say if Canelo was the champion at 147 to go up 168.
Right.